Upon Desecrated Altars is the second full-length album from Left Cross, a Richmond, Virginia-based death metal slash war metal band who have members of Antichrist Siege Machine and underrated black death metal band Embra, uh, where they really started out as a not really a war metal band at all. They started out as a sort of bolt thrower influenced death metal slash crust punk band, and one that was clearly confident in their sort of stench horror influenced skills. Because I'd actually mentioned them in an early uh, entry into an exhaustive study column where I was examining death metal and crust punk. They really were one of the better demo tapes from the 2010s that I encountered in that research, and so I was pretty enthusiastic to find out that they had put out a debut back in 2017, and that now they're putting out a new record here on Profound Lore in 2023. So, what do they sound like so many years later? Well, very different, and we'll get right to that here with this first clip. So the band basically showed up in the midst of the pandemic with a demo tape that essentially showed off that they'd left behind some of their sort of metal punk and crust influenced indentations, and now moved on to a style which is both more focused on a bolt thrower influenced style of death metal as well as a war metal influence. And when I say war metal, I don't mean that this sounds like blasphemy so much as Archcoat, and certainly not the black metal side of Archcoat. This is very much a death metal record, and their promo from 2022 was a huge hint to that. It contains two songs that ended up on this record, and they've made the full shift into a hybrid, a very direct hybrid of very simple, I would say, early 90s style death metal riffs in a very basic way, and the twists and turns of modern riff-oriented war metal. Now, that's a distinction you're not going to understand at all if you don't understand the nuance of what war metal is, what bestial death metal or black metal is, and how that relates. So, I guess the recommended listening would be something like Profane Order, Archgoat, and there's thousands of bands out there that would give you the nuance available to understand the very simple and crushing effect of what this is. This is just a kind of just a bruiser of an album. It's not chaotic. It's not grinding. It's just a riff record that pulverizes you with song after song of just riffs in variation, and they stick with the same sound, the same approach, the same diction on the vocals. This is just a bulldozer of a record, and it's one that it maintains some swerves between slower to mid-paced songs and faster ones, but it's not full of, it's not a terrorizer record. It doesn't quick change between those moments on a dime. This is a slow-moving beast, and it just completely obliterates everything it touches in its path, and suffocates in that sense. If you're not a fan of such a focused tunnel of riffs in the same style busting through for a half an hour, this might not be the record for you. But as just a destructive event, something that is so focused on its rhythms and its riffs and its brutality, it really matches well with the lyrics on this record. And I think if you're not the type to read lyrics and not the type to understand the music you're listening to, you might miss the fact that their actions are sort of suiting their words here. This is very much a march out of Mordor in terms of the lyrics. This is a path of destruction that is ruthless and just a devastating, unholy march outward, and that's what this record is. So, don't get it twisted. Otherwise, this is just a path of destruction, ruinously carved out, and I found it very satisfying as a full listen. It was a very aggressive record. I think the imagery on the cover art is very fitting for the imagery that the lyrics put across, and it's just a very well designed and easily read second full length from a band who have actually very drastically changed their style. If you are familiar with their debut, this is related, but all the more direct and brutal, and just very confident in its destructive path. So anyway, a moderately high recommendation for me. It's not going to be for everyone. It is something that I enjoyed, and I enjoyed the past work of the band, but I could see how this would be just so single-minded and so driven for a lot of people that it just won't really register on your radar at a glance. But if you spend some time with this record, it is a lot of fun to return to. It is very kind of cool with the sonic depth of the render they've gotten here, and I think that it is effective if you give it a chance to grow on you. So go ahead and check that out. It is out today, and go ahead and read my review if you feel like it.